Good morning, guys. Thanks for jumping on. I know Thursdays we have people trickling in. We're still kind of getting used to this. We'll see what 2023 looks like for our schedule, but I am happy that you guys are here. We are going to start with our Power Hour activity of listening to one of my favorites, Double Diamond, Jen Hawkins. She knows what it's about. This series this week is the gift of recruiting and offering the opportunity to people, which I feel like we've been kind of staying on this theme, which is super important, right? Because if we don't ever look for business builders, then we're not going to build our business. So we are going to listen to this. If you have already listened to the Diamonds in December for this morning, then I want you to start. I'll put the action for our call to action for what we're going to be working on with messaging in the chat. And so you can be working on making your list, your happy birthdays, all of the reach outs and things. So we are going to screen share, and y'all love me enough that you're going to tell me, Sarah, we can't see that if I mess it up. Okay, so I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to make this one bigger. Is that it? Can you guys see that as a big page? Okay, good.
Friends, Jen Hawkins here in the most blingiest things that I own, all for a point, all so that hopefully you will remember the message that I have for you today as part of our Diamonds in December series, and specifically talking today about the gift of recruiting. Now, I'm sure you're learning a lot about mindset and ways to propel your business forward. So I'm going to start with mindset around the gift of recruiting. So I think that a lot of us get caught into this trap, and myself included. I can get caught there too, where recruiting feels like a chore. It feels like something that you dread or procrastinate. And sometimes you even look at it like you're bothering people. I know that some of you are relating to what I'm saying. Well, when we look at recruiting like this, we are going to procrastinate. We are going to dread it. We are going to go into it with trepidation and insecurity. And going into recruiting with that sort of posture is not going to have a great outcome. So we have to change our mindset around recruiting and really, truly look at it like the gift that it is. We know our products are a gift. We know that they change lives. We know how they can be a solution for people in their health problems. We know our business opportunity is a gift. It provides margin for people. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people that Plexus has provided a little bit of margin for or a lot of margin for. And in there is blessing. Also, time freedom, right? Friendship, the culture that we have, a community that builds people up and really helps them become the best version of themselves while they're reaching those goals and chasing after those dreams, those big dreams that we want you to have, okay? So recruiting really is a gift, because what we have to offer, that's what it is. I think you have to change your mindset of recruiting is, I am here offering this gift to change people's life. I had a friend that used to say, some will, some won't, so what? And the so what part may be a little kind of harsh, but really, so what? You have to move on. The some won't, that's just part of this process. Well, we are mining for gold or diamonds. We are going to get a lot of dirt. We have to sift through a lot of the yuck to get to the diamonds, to get to the gold that people are. And then they're blessed. We are blessed. Team is blessed. Other people, they spread the blessing of Plexus. And that does not happen without recruiting. Okay. So I'm going to look at my notes here. I'm just going to go rogue here. But so I'm going to hone in specifically on 3 different areas of the gift of recruiting. And with each area, I'll have a little challenge for you, and then a wrap-up challenge here at the end. So pretty simple, but let's keep it simple here. So number one way that recruiting is a gift in the way that friends become power partners. So some of you may know that one of my best friends, Celeste Gwynn, who also happens to be the top earner and the most blingiest person I know. She was my customer for, I think it was 8 or 9 months. She kept stiff arming me on the business opportunity. Now, understanding what I understand now about how to recruit and how to really speak to someone what they want, what they need, I would have done that a little differently. But she was stiff arming me about the business for all those months. Well, she finally came on board and went and sailed to the top of the company in 4 months. So that was incredible. But you cannot give up on people. Okay, your friends that maybe you've already communicated that they would be amazing at this business, and you want to lock arms with them. You've been best friends for a really long time, or you're great friends, and you want to build this business together. Okay, so you cannot give up on those people. Okay, another lesson here is you can't assume that they aren't interested. Similar to the example with Celeste, her sister-in-law. Celeste never actually invited her sister-in-law to join her team. And so, because Celeste assumed, hey, she sees what I'm doing. If she wants to do what I'm doing, she'll come to me. But Haley, her sister-in-law, was literally just waiting to be invited, to say, I want you to do this with me. So there's another lesson. Don't give up. You cannot give up on people without being pushy, and to not assume, just don't assume that, oh, well, they see what I'm doing. If they're interested, they'll join me. Don't make that mistake. Okay, so the challenge for this first little area of how recruiting is a gift is who are those people in your life? Who are those close friends that you need to either you've been assuming, hey, they see what I'm doing. If they want in, they'll ask me. Who are those people that you need to make it known that you want to do this with them? I love that my friends from college, and we've been able to do this together, Erin Zimmerman, Suzanne Clinton, Heather Burke, Tara Penny, we get to do this together. So I get to see them multiple times a year. So you can say, hey, this will be so much fun. Do this with me. Okay. Who do you need to do that for the first time? Well, maybe you've already laid that out to them. And what you need to do is to not give up on them. Remember, it's not about your timing, it's about their timing. And maybe the timing is right. My husband was just telling me earlier that Amazon is set to lay off around 10,000 people. Usually they're hiring people over the holidays, not doing layoffs. So this world is kind of crazy right now. Inflation is high. People are in different mindsets. So where the timing hadn't been right before, it may be right now. Okay. So circle back to those people. I'm not giving up on you. Please come do this with me. It would be so much fun. So many people need what we have to offer. Let's do this together. Okay. Let's see. All right. The second little bucket of area of how recruiting is a gift are to think about those acquaintances that you have recruited that have become great friends or great team members. And maybe they became you recruited them, and maybe they're a great friend and they're a wholesaler. Or maybe they were acquaintances, you recruited them, and that wholesaler became a great friend. Or maybe they became a great team member and a great friend, but they started with an acquaintance. Okay. So, there are people in your business, I know, like that. And if you're just starting your business, I want you, or if you even are well into your business, think about those acquaintances that you're like, hey, I would like to develop a deeper friendship with this person. And in a way that's really genuine, that even if they did say no to joining your business right now anyway, you still want to be friends with them. That you wanting to be friends with them doesn't hinge on whether they join your team or not. So who are those people? And the challenge is to invite them to coffee, invite them to lunch, really be intentional with that friendship. Maybe it's kind of figuring out what is a way that I could serve them. Maybe they have been sick or had a surgery and you could take them a meal. figure out a way that you can be helpful and serve them. And I can't remember his name, but the last guy who did the book club that we just had, it was really good about these magic words and words to say, and these really great little phrases. Well, I loved how he talked about we have to make these deposits into friendships so that we can earn the right to make our offering, to offer the gift of Plexus. So who are those people in your life, those acquaintances that you would love to be friends with, even if they said no to the business, that you can go make relational deposits with so that you can earn that right to share the gift of Plexus with them, okay? So that's number 2. Number 1 was one of those really close friends that you need to like nudge that process along. Number 2 is an acquaintance that you need to make those relational deposits. That's number 2. Okay, number 3, these are sidelines, other Plexus ambassadors that maybe you didn't personally recruit. Maybe they're not on your team or in your organization, or they're kind of sidelines or wherever, but someone else recruited them all together. That they have become a blessing to you, that your life is better because of them. All right. This isn't necessarily going to move your business forward, but it's really important to recognize those people in our life and to show them that we're grateful for them. So figure out who at least one person is for you, and just let them know that how thankful you are that Plexus brought you together, and you are thankful for their friendship. Okay, so the last challenge, so that was number 3, and I'm going to wrap this up with one last challenge, and that is around changing your mindset around recruiting. And it's what I opened with, and it's what I'm going to close with, because I really think that just changing your mindset and seeing recruiting as a gift that we get to offer is going to change everything for you. Because if you are thinking of recruiting as a chore, or that you're bothering people, you're not going to have a good outcome. Okay. So change that mindset. Think about it like this. You are on a treasure hunt, literally offering treasure to the people that you meet, and some will, some won't. So what? It's okay. We stick to it. We keep doing it for the ones that will say yes. Okay. All right. Well, you guys, I love y'all. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I hope that you find time to be really intentional and slow down and really love on those friends and family that you get to be with this Christmas season.
We did it. Okay. So I would love really quick for you guys to just share like maybe one quick knee-jerk. Hold on. YouTube shut off and now it's trying to restart. Hang on. My screen just went completely blank. Okay, good. You guys are still there. I don't know why YouTube is trying to reload. Okay, well, if it pops back up.
It's no joke. It's no joke trying to share your screen and be in charge of the technology.
I think it just glitched like that because you jumped on, maybe.
Oh, maybe so.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good deal. Okay. I was just going to ask, so I have sweaty hands listening to that. Well, and my screen share thing. Are we all good? Everybody's back. Everybody's smiling, nodding, and okay, good deal. Do you guys have any, like, is your heart pitter pattering that we're going to even talk about recruiting? Isn't that crazy? Somebody give me a quick takeaway from watching that. Even if you just want to admit that it's scary. So I think the biggest one for me is don't assume that people see what you're doing, or that people, even if they see you, that they know what you're doing and that they know why it could be something for them. Because I will tell you, I have people who know what I do, see what I do, and just automatically excluded themselves and not asked me about it because they assumed it didn't apply to them. Does that make sense? So yes, don't assume. Some people are just waiting to be asked. It's in the personal, and you know what? I get every day, probably at least 5 different people inviting me to a group. And I will tell you, if somebody with Pampered Chef or Saint Makeup or any of those companies, if I get a personal invite that says, I can't stop thinking about you, you know, I love your skin, I can't help but think about these makeup products that I love, I'm just curious, have you ever tried Saint makeup before? You know, and that would open a conversation. And I might say, I've been watching the tutorials, but I had no clue, like, you know, what to do with this. And they say, can I invite you to a quick holiday online event? I would 99% most likely say, yes, please invite me to your event. But when somebody just clicks through and sends me an invite to a group holiday party, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not going to join that because it didn't feel personal to me. So I tried to put myself on the receiving end of what those messages feel like, and then try to work on that wording when I'm sending out, because when I feel seen or heard, then I'm like, oh, well, they invested at least 30 seconds to know, yes, this is something that you should or, you know, shouldn't take a look at. I feel like it's personalized. So some of the huge things for me that don't assume. So I want everybody on here to just say, I'm not going to assume that somebody knows what I'm doing or that it could be something that would be interesting to them. And then the whole sifting and sorting thing. So I want you guys to hear me on this. At the very beginning of my business, I made my list. Top 10 people I want on my team. My mom, my twin sister, my best friend, you know, all of these things. And so I started the sifting and sorting process. I love what Sarah Robbins says in her book. If you guys have not read this or gifted this, Rock Your Network Marketing Business, this legit is Network Marketing 101. If you have somebody who says, I want to build this business, but you don't know how to get them started, or you've worked through some steps and there seems to be some roadblocks, I would just say, you know what? I would love for you to invest $8, $9 into this book, and let's go through it chapter by chapter, right? You read a chapter and then let's have a phone call and we can discuss this, because this literally it's spelled out black and white. Like, this is training that is already done that you don't have to do. I know Sarah personally, I have no problems recommending and referring for you to go buy her book. I stand behind her as an author and a person. So this is just basic 101, helping somebody to kind of understand. Yes, I'm going to go to her site. Amazon has been slow. I ordered it twice this month and I haven't gotten it yet. So I think Amazon must be low on their inventory of it. But in that, she talks about sifting and sorting. And if you knew there were 4 gold bricks buried in a certain area of land, would you not keep digging, right? Now, some people just by chance, they're going to put that shovel in and they're going to hit a gold brick immediately. And it's like, oh gosh, well, I was sifting and sorting and there we go. That's what happened for me with my mom. So I grabbed her as one of my 3 to go silver before the first ever Plexus convention in June of 2010. I wanted to be silver at that first convention. There were 237 of us. And at that convention, I said, I want you to come with me. She thought she was only coming to be my buddy because I didn't want to do the convention alone. I knew she's my mom. She's my best friend. We talk 10 times every day. Why wouldn't I want her to do this new business venture with me? She sat next to me at convention and she was like, I see the vision. Let's do it. She went and talked like at the hotel with like recruiting the bartenders and waitresses at the restaurant and like you name it. And so we ran side by side the first 9 months of working the business together, and we hit emerald on the same month together. That silver to emerald was 9 months and we did it together. So that was my first gold brick. She was my first emerald. And it was amazing. And then she recruited her best friend, who was also her hairdresser, who then Denise went emerald 2 months after we did. And it was Denise's team growth that propelled both of us. Well, at that same time, I invited my best friend from nursing school, Casey, to do this with me. And she just said, no, thank you. She was working full-time as a nurse. It just didn't fit. Well, guess what? I didn't stop talking to her. I didn't stop loving on her as a friend. And it took a whole year after I went emerald for her to see how I was fitting it into my life and what was happening. And she said yes. And she joined, went like crazy, and is currently and still my top leader with her team as our biggest team leg. But I didn't stop sifting and sorting. That whole year when I was growing my business to emerald, I didn't ever say, well, I'm just going to write her off. It just was a timing thing. And I could probably give you a gazillion different conversations over the last 12 years of what that sifting and sorting process looks like. One of the stories that I heard that will always stay with me is when Tamara Holloway was loving on and recruiting Emily Burgess, and Emily was throwing samples away and saying, no, thank you, for 4 years. 4 years. And then Emily joins and it's good timing, and boom, we see what happened with that. So don't write anybody off. I loved what Jennifer said about making those connections. Like, you never know that your next coffee date might not be your next emerald or diamond in 5 years, right? We don't know that. So sifting and sorting, but working on making connections and investing. Does anybody else have any thoughts about that before we move on to our work? We're going to get into it with 30 minutes of rocking and rolling. Anyone? Thoughts, comments, fears, concerns? Okay, so put that on your list for Christmas. So I don't think Amy's on here. I've got a sweet, sweet gal who I was going to try to find her message, but I can't. So we worked together years ago, and then she decided, she moved and some life happened, and she decided to try some other products, which was fine. And it didn't feel hurtful or malicious when she decided to go try other products. Like, there was not you guys know how that goes in this world. There's several different ways that people can do that. She did it the right way. And I just loved on her through that. We lost touch for a little bit here and there, but I also just kept engaging, being interested. And she came back around and is rocking and rolling. She rejoined 2 months ago and added her first, and now she's going for silver this month. And we've just reconnected and redeveloped. And this morning she sent the sweetest message on our team page, just saying, thank you for not cutting me off, basically. Even when I wanted to try other products, you were still there with the door open, and now she's back. And that just feels really good that relationships are a priority. Okay, Jennifer's saying, will you share my experience of being ghosted? Okay, so here we go. Jennifer was like, help, I sent this. And now this gal, so somebody was very interested. So we've been doing the reset. Today is day 4. I'm talking fast and I'm energized because unofficially I'm down 7.4 pounds. I'm back on track. All of that stuff I did not cheat. You guys, that's a whole nother Zoom, because we went to a restaurant for events 4 times in the last 3 days. Last night we were at an NBA Pelicans game. We were gone all day, and you better believe I packed my broth. At the restaurant, I ordered an ice water and made my shake in my blender bottle while everybody was eating double loaded pork nachos and sliders and potato salad. Like, I was so proud of myself. I did not stray. And I kept telling myself, this decision, I'm going to tell you my flow chart too. Okay, I'm going to talk for 6 more minutes, and then we're going to get 30 minutes of work, I promise. I just love you guys so much. You energize me. But I kept saying to myself, will a pork slider fix all of my problems? If I crash and burn and quit on day 3, will it be worth it? And I stood there to myself and I'm like, no, they actually usually upset my stomach, and I usually eat them anyway and make a poor choice. So I sat there and happily drank my shake, and I did put some salted caramel lean in it, and I was fine. I was absolutely fine. And so today I'm like, heck yeah, I did that whole thing. I didn't cheat. It's the holidays. I'm down 7.4 pounds, which is putting me back to what my goal was. You know, that's for another time and a place. You guys know my story with that. But I felt motivated and energized. And let me give you, Jennifer, I'm going to get back to your thing in just a second. But when you evaluate, what am I doing and why, whether it's the reset that you're posting about that Jennifer got an inquiry about, that's what I'm going to tell you about. Whether it's about showing up for power hours and working your business. Now, you could show up for this power hour and listen to that video and not do anything with it. Or you can say, is not doing anything with that information getting me closer to my goal? So I want you to write that down. This question is what has served me the best in the last few months. Is this choice getting me closer to my goal? Now, there's only 2 answers for that, yes or no. And that's going to dictate where the flow of this conversation in your brain goes. If the answer is yes, give yourself a pat on the back and keep going with that, right? So is not recruiting, is not sending business building messages getting me closer to my goal? Usually the answer is going to be no. because we need to be sending those messages. Okay. So if the answer is no, then the next question, am I willing to take responsibility for the consequences of this decision? Now, for me, and this is a brain dump that came to me during this reset. And I wrote this flow chart down because it was such an aha moment for me. So let's just say, is this choice getting me closer to my goal? I decide to eat the pork nachos. No. Am I willing to take the responsibility for the consequences of that? Yes. Tummy ache, failed at my reset, going to have to start over, all those things. Okay. Yes. You can live with that. You can adjust, get back on track, and then ask the question again. Okay. Here's where the problem comes. Am I willing to take responsibility for the consequences of this decision? For me, I'm going to say not sending recruiting messages. No leads to excuses, placing blame, rationalization of making it somebody else's fault, and justification for why I didn't have to make the right choice. Y'all, I'm telling you, this was a complete day 2 afternoon epiphany for me of, oh my gosh, if I'm mad about not being at a rank, if I'm mad about my size jeans being too tight, I had gotten to this place where my jeans were too tight. I was bloated. I felt terrible, but I'm the one that made the bad choice for what to eat. I'm the one that wasn't willing to take responsibility for making that choice. And then I wanted somebody else to make me feel better about it. And I wanted to rationalize away why I wasn't feeling good and looking good. And that's what got me in February 30 pounds heavier this year. That flow chart right there. So what happens? You say, yes, I'm going to take responsibility for the consequences of my decision. And I'm going to say, okay, what do I need to learn from here? What trade-off do I need to make? What healthy habit do I need to adjust? Do I need to work on my time management? Do I need to get an accountability partner? If you say, yes, I'm willing to take responsibility for the consequences of this, then that's when the learning happens. What do I need to do to get back on track? So in the business sense, if you're sitting here saying, I can't believe I haven't won the jacket. I can't believe I didn't get the $800 last month. And it's all looking outwardly for, well, I didn't like the holiday bundle, or this didn't work in my website, or I had this, and this happened. We can't do the rationalizing and justifying and blaming if we follow the flow chart back up. And it's really the fact that the choices that we are making are not getting us closer to our goal. And not only that, we're not willing to take the responsibility and ownership for what we could be doing as CEOs of our business. And when I get really serious about where I am and where I want to be and why I'm not there, 99.99% of the times it's because my butt's not in the chair and I'm not doing new reach outs. I'm not doing business asks. I'm not doing those seemingly hard things that convert to Jen Hawkins signing up Celeste after she sat her down and said, listen, I'm not giving up on you. And I'm already signing up your friends as customers. So I need you to do this with me. She kept sifting and sorting and asking the right questions and then loving on that relationship until she was ready. Okay, that was the precursor to what Jennifer asked me to share. So Jennifer's doing the reset. Jennifer's posting about the reset. Jennifer gets somebody who says, I'm interested, tell me more. So Jennifer gives all the information and then there's nothing, completely ghosted her. Okay, so I'm gonna read this to you, and I read this last week too, but this has been working so good. Exactly what to say. It's literally magic words to restart any conversation. So this is how I would start. Hey, if you're anything like me, you're probably feeling completely crazy and frazzled during this holiday season. And then the magic words. I'm guessing that you probably haven't gotten around to looking over the information I sent you. I just wanted to revisit this conversation and see if you could share with me what's a good time to connect. Okay. So you're relating and giving them okay, you're probably busy. Like it's the holiday season. It's okay. You're probably really, really busy. I'm guessing you probably haven't gotten around to going over the information that I shared it with you. So that's the magic words of you're letting them off the hook of any guilt, right? Or not knowing what to say. And then you can just say, you know, is there any time this week that we could reconnect? I'd love to chat with you and get your questions answered about. Do not do a yes or no. I haven't typed it out, but I know Jennifer was working on it, and I can definitely type it out when I stop talking. I went over my talk time. So that is my brain dump. That is Diamonds in December. And we are going to spend the last 28 minutes connecting, loving on people on social media, making the list. Who are the best friends that you have that have not started Plexus yet? Who are the acquaintances that you have who you think would be amazing? Who are the people who have already ordered their reset or slim or whatever just because they wanted to help you out as a friend, but they have no idea that this is an opportunity? They have no idea what this has done for you. All the things. I want you to start making those lists of names and filtering and sorting through. And it may just be you've got people. Here's what I love. When you've got a funnel and you've got 100 people going into the top of that funnel, we don't have to panic that we need 3 people to get the North Face jacket at the end of the month. Because if we're starting with 100, we've got 10 who are going to be 6 months down the road. We've got another 10 who will need a year or two, right? We've got 1 or 2 who are really interested, who are going to trickle down, hopefully by, the new year. You don't have to panic when you are talking to enough people and inviting enough people. And I think it was Chris Rude that maybe said, heck yeah, I do 3 business asks every single day. And I'm like, well, that's why she's on the leaderboard and I'm not, because I'm not asking that many people to take a look at what I'm doing. And then you could use my favorite. This may or may not be for you, but if I shared with you XYZ, would you be open to hearing more? Right? That's that, oh, this person personally thought of me, and now they're inviting me to take a look, not to join my team and go silver, right? Hey, it may or may not be for you. That's a magic word. If I could share with you what I'm doing, would you be open to hearing more? If I would you, that's another magic words, phrases. So I will see if I can type some stuff out in the chat. If you guys have a message that's been working for you, let's rock and roll, and I will finally stop talking. Hey guys, as we're wrapping up, Jennifer just reminded me, we're already, so it's December 8th. We know the week of Christmas, everybody kind of takes off. We have a group, New Me in 2023. It's going to be our New Year's challenge that will start with a reset and then move people through the first 11 days or so of their health journey and product journey. So we are working on that, but Jennifer has the group open. I'll post the link in our messenger chat. But personal invites, people are starting to think about, okay, what do I want to do after the holidays? Or I've had so many people say, okay, we're going to get through the holidays and all the holiday parties when I'm going to completely abuse my body, and then I'll talk to you, which is an interesting mindset and goes back to the flow chart that I've been working through. But definitely make sure that you guys are personally inviting people to that group, not just a whole click, 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 and dumping people into that group. This needs to be people that you know and you're aware of, inviting them to lock arms with you as an accountability partner to help them with their health goals. So we will be doing that. That kicks off January 2nd. So they need to be ordering, we're recommending either the Reset Triplex Welcome Pack or the Reset Weight Loss Basic or Advanced Welcome Pack if they're new prospects. So today's day 4, we wrapped up our Ambassador Reset group. So we will be filling that group obviously with before and afters and content and all of that stuff, and people have been sharing. But remember to address not just you can lose 6 pounds in 3 days, but are you tired? Are you bloated? Do you chronically overeat? Addressing pain points and struggles, and then saying, I'd love to help you with a solution, and let's walk through this together for the new year. So I will type out, Pat, I'm going to try to figure out how to make this pretty. Right now, it's just a brain dump on a notepad of my flow chart. But those questions, like I said, it was a day 2 afternoon, reset 9, day 2, reset 9, and epiphany of honestly the slight edge plus a whole lot of other things. And the behind the scenes is I shouldn't have had 7.4 pounds to lose, but isn't it amazing to know that a month of, sliding back related to poor choices in a tough season, that you can get back on track and feel, I'm still working out, still doing all the things. I was just choosing the wrong foods to fuel my body. So back on track, feeling good. Thank you guys for jumping on and working through all of my fears of screen sharing, but I think we're moving past that. So you guys are awesome, and we'll see you on Monday.